To solve the square root property, you first have to have, let's say we have example x squared equal 81. Well, you don't have any x. You know that when you normally solve a quadratic, it's in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Well, in the square root property, you're essentially missing the middle part, and you just have the ax squared and the number. So to do this, you would square root both sides, square root 81 and square root x squared. When you square root x squared, you just get left with x. When you square root 81, that gives you plus or minus 9. Because you know that you're always supposed to have two answers because of the square. That tells you how many answers you have. So the answer to this one will be plus 9 and negative 9. Let's say, for example, you have p squared minus 50 equal to 0. Well, you move the 50 to the other side. And so you have p squared equal positive 50. And then you would square root both sides. So on the left side, you would just have p. On the right side, it would be plus or minus square root of 50. And you have to break that down. Well, you know the square root of 50 is really the square root of 50 is 5 times 10, so it's 5 times 5 times 2. So then you would simplify that square root. So it would be plus or minus, it would be p equal the plus or minus 5 square root of 2. So your answer would be p equal plus or minus 5 square root of 2. Let's say, for example, you have 5z squared minus 200 equals 0. Well, you move the number to the other side, so you have 5z squared equals a positive 200, because when you move 200 to the other side, you have to add it. To get rid of the 5, you would divide both sides by 5. And you'll end up with z squared equal to 40. And then you would square root both sides. So you have z, because the square root of z squared is z, equal plus or minus the square root of 40. So then you ask yourself, okay, how do I break down 40? Well, I know that that's 20 times 2, and 20 is 10 times 2, 10 is 5 times 2. So basically 40 is 3 2's and a 5. So you'll have z equals plus or minus, 2 of them will come out of a square root, so it'll be 2 square root of 10, plus or minus 2 square root of 10. So let's say you were given x plus 2 squared, and that equals 25. So what you would do is you square root both sides to get rid of the square, and you'll just end up with x plus 2 equal plus or minus 5, because the square root of 25 is 5. So that's two equations. So what you would do is subtract 2 from both sides. So when you subtract 2 on the left side, you just end up with x. But on the right side, you have to deal with the plus 5 and the minus 5. So plus 5 minus 2 will give you 3. And negative 5 minus 2 will give you a negative 7. So your two answers are x and 3. X is 3, and also x is negative 7. Let's see if you have, let's say you have 2 minus 5t squared equal 12. Well, you would square root both sides. And so what that would give you on the left side is 2 minus 5t. On the right side, it will give you plus or minus square root of 12. So then what you would do, you can break down the square root now, or you can break it down later. Breaking it down now, 12 is 6 times 2, which is 3 times 2. So 3 times 2 times 2. So what will happen is you'll have 2 minus 5t equal plus or minus 2 root 3. Because square root of 12 simplifies to 2 square roots of 3. So what you'll do first is subtract 2 from both sides. And what you'll end up with is a minus 5t equals negative 2 plus or minus 2 square root of 3. And then you'll divide by negative 5 on both sides. So you'll end up having t is equal to negative 2 plus or minus 2 square root of 3 divided by negative 5. It can be called that, or if they take the negative sign off of the denominator, it's going to go straight through the numerator. It's going to give you a positive 2 plus or minus 2 square root of 3 divided by positive 5. Either or.